Hello, Justice Warriors. How are you guys this morning? It's Friday. It's August 11th. It's almost noon, so I can still say good morning, Earthlings, which I don't know, for some reason I love saying that. Please hit that like button, ring your notification bell, or turn on your notification bell to ring. Subscribe and share if you like the video. Um, wow, I have a lot to say, and that crazy sun is coming in. Um, it's really insane how much of a challenge lighting is, right? And I've heard that my whole flippin' life, like way before YouTube was ever a thing. Um, Having grown up in Southern California, I heard that in the entertainment industry. And here we go. It was like kind of rainy a second ago. And so now the sun is shining and it just changes all the lighting. So we'll just roll with it, see how it goes. There's a few things I wanted to come on and say before I got caught up doing other things. I was stretching and doing my yoga. That's why I'm sitting on the floor. And I thought, I'm just going to make a quick video. Um, Last night, I was trying to catch up on Ara's last live. Oh, good. That sunbeam is diminishing. I like that better. I don't know about you guys, but it also depends on what type of device you're watching it on, of course, too. Anyway, so Ara's last live, I think, was the night before last. And unfortunately, I missed it when she was doing it live, which is fine because then I can catch it on the replay. And it's long. It's between 4 and 5 hours. So I'm almost caught up on it. I didn't get to watch the very end of it, but it's so good, you guys. I'm going to put the link to it in my description of this video. I'm just amazed with that woman's ability to be so authentic and brave, daring. She'll take a lot of chances of making a fool of herself, basically, which I think is part of life. We all do it. We all make fools of ourselves, but we like to try not to whenever possible. And with our content creating, we do have some control over that. We can edit things, we can not post things, um, we can delete things. So it's nice to just be yourself and be authentic and to have people appreciate that. And that's really what inspired my channel. When I started, I got that feedback from my viewers that they found me so refreshing for that reason. And I was thinking I needed to like get more polished and have more PowerPoint types of presentations and the technology and da da da. And then as soon as I started getting that feedback, I was like, you know what? That's what I like too when I'm watching YouTube videos. I like people that are just themselves. And as a professional, that was also a thing where I felt like I could be myself and be a professional, be completely professional at work and be my true self. And I didn't understand people that kind of like were void of their personality and they thought they had to do that in order to be a professional because I don't think that makes you professional. In fact, I think it makes you unprofessional. So, enough of my little soapbox. Everything I say is simply my opinion, simply for the sake of conversation. I always hope to open up a discussion and to learn something. I hope that my videos are educational for others. I appreciate you watching. All my videos to date are specifically made for the blah, 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 YouTube platform. I can speak, and we all know that YouTube is an entertainment platform. So I like to always keep that in mind as we run in and out of these rabbit holes. And, I try not to go in the rabbit holes, but um, sometimes I feel like I find myself in them. And what are you going to do? Right? Pull yourself up by your bootstraps and get on with it. So, Ara is amazing. She's extremely bright, extremely brave, and I want to encourage anybody who's interested in watching that long 4 hour plus live. I know it's hard to watch these long lives, but if you just do whatever it is that you need to be doing while you're listening, and sometimes for me that's, out getting a walk and exercising, folding my laundry, all kinds of fun stuff. Um, but really, she's an expert detective and she would be an asset to any investigative firm or the FBI, and I am not kidding. Seriously. She knows how to listen. She knows how to listen precisely, and she knows her stuff. She both knows her own intuition and instinct, and she's also willing to question herself, which I just admire all those things. So she's reviewing her, um, I think it's her August 9th live from a year ago, and she's kind of introducing this missing 16-year-old to the YouTube community on her platform. Um, so she's reviewing that live and then looking at it now, and it's absolutely fascinating. I don't know if I want to go into some of my notes from that. I also wanted to make mention of Muse News or I can't say it. Muse News, Moose News. I think that's it. Pam from Moose News. I tongue tie myself on something. I can never undo it once I get those wires crossed. Um, anyway, the Pam's video from this morning I thought was very inspiring, which is sort of why I'm doing this so casually the way I am right now. Um, I want to be straightforward, of course. Her video was hard for me to watch. I was in the live, I was in the chat, and I was happy to get in there and say hi. And then I kind of got uncomfortable and wanted to leave, but I didn't want to take off. I wanted to stick around for her. And then Kenny comes in, and I love Crime Watch with Kenny. If you don't know his channel, I highly recommend him. He's a gem. And so I stayed, and I'm so glad I stayed. It was such a gift. And she was being brutally honest, and I agreed with a lot of what she was saying. Of course, I didn't agree with everything she was saying, and that's 100% fine. I don't ever expect to agree with someone 100%. Honestly, as whack as this might sound, I don't even expect to agree with myself 100% of the time. You know, ideas change moment to moment. Perspectives can change on a dime. Life can change on a dime. And in every challenge, there's an opportunity to learn, an opportunity for growth. In fact, the Asian symbols for crisis are two symbols. The first symbol is for danger, and the second symbol is for opportunity. So a crisis, quite literally, is a dangerous opportunity. So the way I think about that is that it's dangerous, like there's a 90% chance of disaster, and then I'm just breaking this up randomly, and then maybe a 10% chance of this situation actually making things better in the end. You know that old saying, a lot of times things have to get worse before they can get better. And that's why you kind of have to hit that breaking point, and then you have the opportunity to see what's going on, make some changes, turn it around if you want and if you can. So, anyway, I find that to be one of the greatest gifts that I learned from my mentor in graduate school in a psychiatric facility. And that was at Ross Psychiatric Hospital in Marin County, um, the San Francisco Bay Area. But that every problem is a challenge, a gift, and an opportunity. Every single problem in your life has those three elements if you can find them: challenge, gift, and opportunity. So that's all the soapbox for today, as far as that goes. But where are we at? I'm just at about 10 minutes. Let me just go over my notes from what I was wanting to discuss on Ara's live so far. And I'm still needing to catch up on Shan's last Squirrels on Fire live. That was the night before last. So the one from Ara, I think, is the night before that. But anyway, you'll see the link if you want to watch it. Um, so she really did a good job of breaking down what people were saying and listening kind of with fresh ears and re-listening. One sec. Um, and I don't agree with my good friends on the Squirrels on Fire channel, the Squirrel Squad, as we like to refer to ourselves or them. I think I'm one of them. I don't know. That's not so important to me. What's important to me is to be true to myself and to find other people that are true to themselves. So I don't care if I agree with them. I just want them to be true to themselves, really, honestly. So the people in that crew, in my opinion, have, a very different view than I have on Jägermeister, as I like to call him. So something in Ara's video that struck me was in his interview with the news in Reno, he said that Kylie had been um, listening to him when he was complaining about his day. And all of a sudden it dawned on me, because I always thought this was text. I was like, well, was she listening in the text? Or were they actually talking on the phone? Because, I mean, sure, she could have been listening on the text. And I always took it that way until yesterday when I was listening to ours live from a couple days prior and thought, wow, did he just explain something and I missed it this whole year? He said that he was complaining about his day and she listened. So, um, and then some of the things that SS said. So she said a bunch of stuff in her interview with Tony Dodge, like that she had been speaking with Kylie. She knew that she was going to the party. She had spoken with her before. They did not plan on going together, and we ended up not going together. And that doesn't make sense to say that we didn't plan on it and we ended up not. It'd be more like we were planning on going together and we ended up not going together, or we were planning on not going together and we ended up going together. But I think she tripped herself up. So saying she knew that Kylie was going, she'd spoken to her before, they didn't plan on going together and they ended up not going together. So I don't know, but I think that all of these people involved in this situation need to be interrogated and need to have their feet held to the fire. And let me just add right here that this is where I'm fine with having a different opinion than Pam, that she feels like she needs to vacate the Rodney case and that that's her opinion that everybody should. And I think that's fine and great for her to have that opinion. I have a different opinion. So um, there we are. It's all right. Agree to disagree. So I think that these questions need to be answered and that there needs to be justice for Kylie, that the truth needs to come out, no matter how hard or harsh. I feel like the truth sets people free, in my opinion. So, um, when Ms. Sammy was talking in that interview with Tony Dodge, and she said we were charging her phone, and these are things I got from Ara. This is in Ara's video and her breakdown of her video from last year. We were charging her phone. Listen to those words. We were charging her phone. We were talking about her texting her mom. I always heard that as the we, including Kylie. But thank you to Ara's good listening skills and good presentation skills, I think I heard it more for what it is. We were charging her phone. We were talking about her texting her mom. To me, that could be interpreted that they wanted to keep her phone charged because they were trying to figure out what to do to cover for whatever happened, possibly, in my opinion. And so they charged her phone so that the battery wouldn't die. And then they were talking about her texting her mom. So to me, that sounds like making it look like she's texting her mother, kind of like Brian Laundrie did with Gabby Petito's mom. That's a thing, right? With criminals. And then how she was changing the story, Miss Sammy was changing it from talking in the first person and the second person and the third person. It was very confusing, but she kept shifting gears. she was, I think, confusing herself. I think she was overly confident that she could pull this off because she's probably good at, talking her way out of things and manipulating people. I think we all saw evidence of that. But very, very fascinating that she kept changing first person, second person, third person. And that's like I, she, me, my. That's first, second, third. Um, or maybe it's first, third, and second. Anyway, you get the drift. Again, full credit to Ara for pointing that out because it was all just kind of going over my head. Um, but I had a vision, sort of, while I was listening. And I'm not saying that I'm accurate and that this was like, some kind of psychic vision. It was just a vision. It just kind of came to me, and it may or may not have truth to it. But it was the first time for me, I think, that I had the concept, and it came to me as a truth, that Sammy drove Kylie's car away from Prosser Creek that night. Prosser Reservoir. Um, and that's why she kept fumbling when she said, I'm in the passenger seat, I'm being driven. Um, that she was the one driving Kylie's car away from Prosser Creek that night. It never occurred to me, or if it has, I don't remember, which is entirely possible. I mean, it's such a cluster shite show, all this stuff. It's hard to keep up, which is why we have our notebooks, right? And why we have our videos and why we have our lives. Um, so I feel like Ara's really good at detecting the lies in these statements because one reason, I mean, simply because she's Ara, but another reason is because she works with teenagers all day. And so she's kind of onto their game, right? She speaks their lingo. Um, One of the things that Ms. Smith said that has always blown me away, again, in that same interview with Tony Dodge, is when she said that they have thousands of volunteers taking millions of calls. You would think she would have caught herself and backtracked and said, something like, I'm over exaggerating, but you know what I mean. A lot of volunteers and a lot of tips. But to say 1,000 or was it thousands? I think it was 1,000 volunteers, maybe over 1,000 volunteers. Either way, I mean, it's nuts. It's a completely um, exaggerated, inflated, dramatic, grandiose. And these are things that people tend to do when they're in a manic phase. It's also things that people tend to do when they have a personality disorder. And I think it's safe to assess that Ms. Sammy Smith has most, if not all, of the markers and characteristics of personality disorders. I won't say which one. I'll just leave it at that. Um, Although maybe later we'll talk about which one. Anyway, then when she said, Ms. Sammy Smith, that there were, they were doing those teen to teen interviews and that there were 7 or 8 of us, those were her words, 7 or 8 of us, um, conducting these teen to teen interviews. So I thought, who are those 7 or 8? That would be good to know. And yeah, why did the law enforcement allow the teens, especially Sammy, to take over, especially when she's claiming that she was the last person to see this missing person, the last person to have contact with this missing person. And her story doesn't make sense. And it's 12 months later, and it looks like she's not going to be held accountable. Maybe they're working on a case. I mean, honestly, people sometimes don't get arrested for years after they commit a crime because law enforcement wants to make sure they have every single I dotted, every single T crossed. And the longer it takes them, not that they're procrastinating at all, but they're working on their case, the longer it takes them, the more time that passes, the more information falls into their laps. That's the truth. It's the way it works. So, remember too that Mr. Maestro was also saying that he was filtering information for the sheriff. He put that on his social media and then he revised it or took it down or both. Um, but Ara said that I like to just kind of mince their names for the purpose of YouTube. So I like to say Jägermeister. I like to say Yosemite Sammy. Um, I like to say Hamburglar. And I hope everyone knows who I'm referring to when I say Hamburglers. Not the ones from Mickey D's, but the ones from Donner Pass and the ones from basically every board of directors and every powerful entity in our country and internationally. So that's multi generational. So Ara said that Jägermeister reminded her of Chris Watts. And I know I've heard people say that Yosemite Sammy reminded them of Chris Watts with the Duper's Delight. Um, but specifically, Ara was talking about when um, Jaeger was saying that he felt like she was safe, he felt like they were going to find her, and that type of thing. And it was similar to the speech pattern and the sentence structure and the words that Chris Watts said in his infamous porch interview when he was saying things like, if they're safe, I hope that they come back. And if they're not safe, that's what I'm worried about. But just interesting word choices, word selections. And interesting, the whole like Bumble salad was something I think I came up with in one of the chats of, I think it was in a Squirrels on Fire live the night before last. It could have been a different one. But somebody was talking about word salad and word bumbling, and I just came up with Bumble salad. It was late at night, and just a silly little thing. Anyway, I'm going to go ahead and wrap this one up. It's Friday. I hope that you guys have a fabulous weekend. I am working hard on getting back into the swing of things and getting into my routine where I do a video every day for me, for you, for YouTube. So, I hope that you like this one. I hope you like my channel. I love my channel. I don't like love every video or, there's always going to be parts of videos that I don't love. And sometimes I'll leave them in there. Like the last one that I did, I edited some of it, but I left a part in, and you guys might laugh when you see it, where I said, maybe I should edit this part out. And I edited out the part, but then I left that part in just so that you would know that there was something that I edited out. Because, obviously I could have edited the rest of it. Um, and there's oftentimes where I think I shouldn't post this video, like maybe this one today, because the wacky lighting, and I'm not a perfectionist, but I do like to try to make the visual, you know, palatable. And I personally don't like when the light is overpowering and washes things out. But I know a lot of people, myself included, we don't always watch the video. We are often just listening. So I'll probably just leave it as is, unedited and raw, just to honor the whole theme of what Pam was talking about in her live. And bless you, Pam. Thank you so much for that. I felt very safe to just say a lot of things, and I was just really glad that I stayed all the way to the end once I got in there. Peace out. Have a great rest of your day. I hope you get some sunshine and fresh air and exercise and all that good stuff. Be kind to yourself, be kind to others, be forgiving of yourself, be forgiving of others. We all make mistakes. That's part of life. And I'll just tell a little joke. There was a group therapy that I was doing, that I was like the facilitator of, and one of the clients in there wrote on a board, "To err is human," and she spelled air AIR. And everyone in the group thought she did it on purpose, that was, her um, just being funny. To err is human. And she didn't know. She did not know that in that context, error is spelled like error, ERR. And it's fine to not know. It's fine to make mistakes. There's so much that we don't know. There's so much that we think we know, and there's so much that people assume we know. And I think it was Einstein who said, the more you know, the more you realize how much there is that you'll never know. And if that's not the truth, I don't know what is. So, again, thank you kindly for watching, sending you light and love as that sunshine just streams right on in. And like I said, maybe on your device it's good for your viewing. On my device, that window right there is just completely washed out. Also, please watch my short. I learned how to do a green screen and put music in, and I did this. I think it's a cute little short. Again, I was just playing around and I wasn't even sure I was going to put it up. But honestly, if I can toot my own horn, I think it's profound. There's no words in it. It's got some crazy music at the beginning from 311 all mixed up. And I don't know when the photograph is taken of law enforcement, Moscow PD, standing at the front door of 1122 um, King Road. But they certainly don't look very professional, in my opinion. They look like they're just hanging out. One's on the phone, the other's just looking at them, and maybe that's okay, but maybe it's not. I'll just leave it at that. I mean, I don't like to judge everything, and I certainly don't think I'm always right. I just thought it was a very interesting shot, and it just kind of worked for me, this little 13-second black and white. So I hope that you like it. I'm just learning how to do more things on the YouTube channel, and it's all interesting. So thanks for watching. Here I go. Peace out. Have a great day. Sending you that light and sending you that love. Make sure you eat your protein and your vegetables, please. See you on the next one.